The addition of Mike Bobo, the former starting quarterback, I think he was a team captain and certainly longtime offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Georgia in the offseason for Kirby. This is what he said um, on XM radio earlier this month. He was talking about how the 6 or 7 guys who played together at Georgia play golf. He said, we have a little cup that we play for every year. It's nice to have Mike Bobo back on staff so he gets to jump in and play. He couldn't play when he was at Colorado State. He said earlier in the year that there's a lot of value in the experience that Mike has had. He's been a head coach, he's been a coordinator in our conference, he knows our league. The 5-hour radius we recruit in, he's extremely versed. He has a ton of relationships that create value. He has a ton of relationships. Now, that is not an exaggeration. When I covered Mike at Georgia from, well, I guess '01 until he left after the 14 season, he was really valuable on the recruiting trail in his world, which is South Georgia for sure, Southwest Georgia to be specific, Thomasville. And so many people knew Mike and knew his association with Georgia. There's not a lot of people that I've dealt with through the years who are as genuine as Mike is. A lot of football coaches are, meatheads. I've never gotten that impression from Mike. And we've had conversations, obviously, not tons, but he really cares for the players that have played for him and will play for him. Georgia is fortunate to have Mike back. Todd Monken has done an exceptional job calling plays, scripting an offense. Having Mike around is yet another quarterback, a set of quarterback eyeballs on the most important position on the team. And make no mistake about it, Stetson is the starter coming into the season, no question. But there's 3 guys on this team that need to be developed: Carson Beck, Brock Vandegrift, and Gunnar Stockton. Those guys will benefit from Mike being on the support staff at Georgia, no question. And Kirby has expressed his love for Georgia in various ways. Mike has seen the best, in many ways, the worst of Georgia over a 2-decade period. I'm glad he's back. I think that more than anything, it gives Georgia a Georgia guy in the truest sense of the word that will do all he can to win. Now, particularly now that Georgia is at the level that it's at, where Kirby is taking advantage of every single thing that the state has to offer. Hey, look, make sure you're picking up Dogstructions. The newest books will be here before you know it. I want to make sure that y'all are ordering it. I'm standing up to go get the poster. Here's the reason why, y'all. You get Dogstruction today, and the preview edition comes with it. All right, you get both. This is worth the value. The value is in the book is great, to be honest. But getting this now, we don't write about Mike in this one, but we do write about Stetson, A.D. Mitchell, uh, the tight ends, etc. You're going to want to get this. This I will have in my hands later this week. So if you have ordered already, you are probably going to get your package getting mailed out on Friday. If not, it will be there just before the 4th, somewhere, before the week before the 4th. So order it now so you don't get delayed. Get in on this group of books. I got to tell you, we just had the best week of sales that we've had. And so that means that's really awesome. And I appreciate everybody ordering. You're getting a great value. That also means for those of you who haven't ordered yet, get in now so you're not waiting too long. If you just want the magazine, the link is down below for that too. Thanks to everybody watching on all of our audiences. I want to get back to this thing with Mike. Uh, you know, Mike Bobo has been through the ringer at Georgia. He's been on a losing team as a player, as a starting quarterback. He's been on a losing team as an assistant coach. He's been on a team that resurrected Georgia football in 1997. He was, to me, the vocal leader, if not just the straight up leader of that team in 97. He's been the leader. He's been one of the leaders of a resurrection of a program in '01, and then honestly again in 11 and 12. Um, he uh, he bleeds Georgia. He would tell you that he grew up in that area of Georgia as an Auburn fan, kind of. I don't think that's there anymore. But really, more than anything, and what Kirby's talking about here is true. Who do you think beat Kirby out for Malcolm Mitchell? It was Mike Bobo. Uh, and that wasn't a one-off thing. I mean, there were a slew of guys that Alabama wanted that Georgia and Mike kept, and got to go to Georgia. Those were big wins in the recruiting world. And when you go to high school coaches, if they don't know Mike Bobo's father, they certainly know Mike. I mean, we got to the point where Mike Bobo's father is the coaches that he knew, for the most part, they're getting closer to retirement age. These younger coaches, Mike kept recruiting at Colorado State like crazy in the state. It was very important to him um, to keep ties. Not that you could break them any, but I think to me the biggest value here, along with knowing where all of the landmines are in South and Southwest Georgia, and knowing the elite. I mean, Mike Bobo. So everybody's gonna like dismiss what I'm gonna say here. I don't know if you get Jacob Eason if you don't have Mike Bobo at the start. He was responsible for getting to really kicking this thing off. Coach Rick got DJ. But everybody from Matthew on, those were Bobo guys. And Matthew was a break the glass kind of quarterback at Georgia. And from that point forward, the quarterback play, generally speaking, at Georgia has been better. Um, you know, you talk about, Shock was underneath, as developed under Coach Rick as well as Mike. But Matthew was full blown Mike Bobo. Okay. Aaron Murray was full blown Mike Bobo. Those guys, 7 years of quarterbacking at Georgia, that was pretty elite, generally speaking. Generally speaking. I mean, Aaron, just in terms of a college quarterback, I'm not sure there's a better college quarterback in Georgia history. There's not a lot of better college quarterbacks in SEC history, to be honest with you. And what Mike did in 14 with that, with a very limited quarterback in Hudson Mason, and the amount of points he scored was exceptional. But anyway, I digress. Carson Beck will improve because of Bobo and Munkin. Definitely Gunnar Stockton will. I think Gunnar is the one who will benefit the most from this, generally speaking, because he's the youngest. And getting Mike back helps a lot. People say, well, let me figure out how I can criticize Bobo. Let's think about the 14 South Carolina game. Yeah, okay. Maybe Hudson doesn't ground the ball right there. You don't have that problem, right? And you go away and win. But if you're scoring 35 points on the road, you should win, right? I mean, that what they score on Clemson that year, they scored 45 and had a touchdown call back in the last few minutes. That'd have been a 50 spot on Brent Venables. There's just, the guy consistently performed. And I think really to me, more than anything, it gives Kirby another former head coach on the staff that can tell him, bro, what you're doing right now, you're pressing too hard. Or I would go at these guys a little bit harder today in practice. Or, I don't know if I would come at this recruit this particular way. Or I got this. Don't worry about that. I'm going to handle this right now. That's what having Bobo on the staff. That's what having Muschamp on the staff. That's what having former head coaches on the staff will do. And those two are not the only former head coaches that are, around. So I think this was a I was always curious if this would happen, and of course it did. I think it's great for Mike. He gets to get his health back, his body back a little bit, and get to watch his son play at Georgia. Jackson Muschamp's up there too. So you get the ability for those guys to play, well, certainly practice a lot, but Mike will help the quarterbacks, and he will, all of this is going to add up, and adding Mike Bobo does that for sure for the Georgia Bulldogs.